Hey, good morning, guys and ladies. Hey, I just want to say, first of all, thanks for being on here. And for myself, man, what such an honor to get chosen to be an assistant coach in the Australian Boomers Olympic team. It was a dream of mine to play for them, which I wasn't able to do. But to be able to coach alongside the great Brian Goorjian, who's the head coach, and to be a part of that team, to continue to be a part of that team is a dream come true for me. And I'm just can't wait to get together with the boys in July once our season's over.
Bob.
Hey, David, how you doing? Congratulations. You just mentioned you tried to make the team. Could you tell us what years you tried out and kind of what that experience was like?
Yeah, look, I grew up in Australia. For those that don't know, so I'm actually half Australian. So through my junior career in the '90s was always a dream to play for the Boomers, and our team was loaded back then with Andrew Gaze and Shane Heal. For those guys that don't know who they are, they're legends in the game, and was never able to crack the squad. And so during my coaching journey, to now be chosen to be in that position, to now coaching that team is a great honor.
I guess if it's kind of like a ball player, maybe baseball player didn't get to make the big league or play in the World Series, make the big team, but then he gets to, like Tommy Lasorda, he never got to play, I don't think, above, 10 games or something. He managed the Dodgers is getting to coach. If you can't play in the Olympics, is the next best thing coaching the Olympics?
For me, definitely. I think for any athlete, to play for your country or to be able to coach for your country is the pinnacle, of sport. And it's an honor for me. The good thing for me is that, I've coached a lot of the players on the team in college, Patty Mills and Matt Dellavedova, Ben Simmons, who now will be on that team. So to have coached them in college and now to be able to coach them on the national stage or the international stage, I'm pinching myself.
When you went to Eric, because obviously this cuts into your time with Arkansas, was he like, hey, man, go for it? Or what was that conversation like?
Look, it was a discussion I had with Eric and even Hunter when I accepted the job here. In 2019, I was in the World Cup team as an assistant coach, and we qualified for the Olympics, finishing fourth in the world in 2019. And so that was something I posed to them, that this could be a possibility in 2020. Obviously, with the pandemic, the Olympics have been pushed back, but they were gracious enough to tell me that I'd be able to do that. Because I think it not only helps us, it helps me professionally, it helps the university, even our program, to be on the world stage.
And then have you ever attended any Olympics as a fan, or will this be your first Olympic experience?
I have, Bob. I was playing professionally in Australia at the Sydney Olympics in 2000. And so, went to watch those games in depth in Sydney. And then in 2008, I'm getting my years right, I went to Beijing to watch those Olympics because I was at St. Mary's at the time, and Patrick Mills was playing for us. He happened to be on that team, and so I went over to see those games.
So you were just in the stands as a basketball fan?
Yeah, just as a fan.
Did you see any other events?
I did not. I wanted to go to track and field, but those tickets are so hard to get on a typical year. So really just went to the basketball, which even those events are hard to get to. So I wasn't able to get to track and field or swimming or anything.
Okay, well, you'll have a better seat this time around.
Yeah, I'll be prime time.
Okay, I got a couple more, but I'll turn it back to Mike. Thanks, David.
No problem.
Scotty?
Hey, Coach, I was curious what your relationship with Brian Goorjian is like and what impact he's had maybe on your coaching career.
Look, as a junior, I played for a team called the Melbourne Tigers, which was like the rival team was called the Southeast Melbourne Magic, who he coached. And so we were in the same city, and I, from afar, was kind of on his rival team. As a junior, though, to see him, he watched me as a junior play, and to see him coach in that league, he won, I think, 3 or 4 championships back to back. So he's been a legend in the game. He left and went to China and coached for the last, I guess, 11 years. And so has been removed from the Australian scene just because China was paying him a lot of money. He's doing a great job over there. And his brother actually coached Ben Simmons in high school. And so there's a good relationship there with us that probably stems back 25 to 30 years.
Curtis.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. You talked about some of those guys that you recruited and coached in college that are going to be on the team with you. What does that say about kind of the culture and the talent that's really booming down there in Australia? And then how important is it for you, to have a footprint over there in terms of recruiting at Arkansas?
Hey, Curtis, thanks for that. I think it's huge. First of all, I never thought I'd be coaching them in the Olympics, but it talks about the transition basketball's made. In 2000, I said I went to the Olympics to watch in Sydney. There were no real college players on the team, other than Andrew Bogut was on the team back then. He was the only college player. And now to fast forward 20, 21 years to see the likes of the number one picks that have been on the team, Ben Simmons, you got Josh Green, who was just came out of University of Arizona, but there was a lottery pick this year on the team. Dante Exum's on the team. To see the talent that's come out of there over the last 21 years is key. And for me, selfishly being at the University of Arkansas, you definitely get to see those kids at a young age, and they know that you're part of the Olympic team. And so it only helps when it comes to recruiting here for the Hogs.
And is there anything that stands out to you about the style of play maybe that's different there in Australia? And, is there anything that you've gained from your experience there on the coaching staff that maybe you've brought back and instilled since you've been at Arkansas?
It's team first, and everybody says it, but who really lives it? And we do that in Australia. It's team first. It's toughness. Australia is known to have a toughness and grit about them because it's only a country of 22 million people. And so there's a toughness about them and a camaraderie that I know is unmatched in the world. And that's something I've tried to bring here. I think it's always team first. Obviously, we always want to get tougher. And I think, our guys have bought in here, and it's something I really enjoy being around the Olympic team with. When you look at, I don't know if you guys watch the San Antonio Spurs play, but when you see Patty Mills play for them, like he's the one guy waving his towel and huddling guys up. When you look at Joe Ingles play for the Utah Jazz, he's that tough guy that's always bumping somebody or getting into altercations. The Toronto Raptors with Aaron Baines, he's a tough guy. Like that's how our team's made up. And so I'm hopeful that some of that can lay off here on our Hogs.
Thanks, Coach.
Andrew.
No problem.
Coach, I'm wondering if you know yet, like what's this going to look like logistically from a timing standpoint? When do you start practicing with the team? How is it going to how are you going to balance it with recruiting and your other off-season duties like that?
Look, a great question. I think the good thing is at the moment, recruiting's still on Zoom, so I could be in Japan and still recruit over the computer. But I think, at the moment, it looks like July. With the NBA playoffs, with us having so many NBA players and even Team USA and the other countries involved having so many, NBA players, the playoffs right now look like they're going to go through July. And so through July. So our thought is at the moment, because it's a flexible deal, is our camp would be in early July. And the Olympics is scheduled to start August 5th. And so it's probably going to be a 5-week commitment. The fortunate thing for us is our camp's going to be based in America. And so it's not like we have to leave the country and go to Australia. We're just working out logistically where that'll be at. And so I'll be stateside and still be able to do my Zooms and do my recruiting from this point of view. But, it's also good to be able to tell a recruit I'm busy right now. I'm at the Olympics getting ready to prepare for LeBron and James Harden. That's not a bad thing to talk about to a recruit when you're recruiting them from afar.
Bob.
Yeah, David. I get the Caribbean things mixed up. Were you from Jamaica, or is that right, or is it Bermuda?
Born in Bermuda, Bob. Bermuda. Okay.
So do you have Bermudian or whatever it's called, U.S. and Australian citizenship? Are you like a triple citizenship guy?
I'm the real Bermuda Triangle. I got all three. So, yeah. Okay,
and then where in the U.S. your camp's going to be? The Australian camp's going to be?
We're leaning towards, Bob, either California or Vegas, and it's all dependent on where we can get our own bubble and what teams can come in. Because the one thing as you prepare for the Olympics is you've got to have what we call friendly games, practice games against other countries. And so it's where can we get 3 or 4 other countries in the same location, and obviously with COVID, make sure that everyone's healthy and those measures are covered.
I bet those players end up in Vegas.
I guess.
I had a couple off the Olympic topic, if you don't mind. We see on your all's Twitter, Eric's pregame stuff like cheese under the seats and bouncing the ball. You got to bounce back, and 1 stick and break, but 5 can, and got to empty the oil can. I'm sure there are many others. Well, what's your take on Eric's motivational ploys with the guys?
Look, I think Eric's a tough coach in a good way, and so I think as we prepare for games, I think that stuff going out before a game gets the guys a little bit more lighthearted and get a little bit more fun out of it. I think the message is great every time we bring it up, and the guys look forward to it. Obviously, you want your guys prepared and tough and ready to play, but at the same time, you want them loose. And his message usually pertains to the game at hand. Last night he used the UPS message, and I don't know if you guys have seen that on Twitter, but delivering the rebound count, trying to stop DJ Stewart and Molinar. And so in his skit, there's always a message for the game. And so I think our guys look forward to it. It's something I've never seen before, but enjoy. I'm not great at it, so you won't see me doing too many of them. I'm not great in my acting skills, but I think Muss does a great job in terms of doing that and getting our guys loose before they go out to the battles that we have to have in the SEC.
You have a favorite theme from any of those?
I did like, believe it or not, I like the UPS yesterday, the delivery stuff. I think we had some guys that bought in. It's always good when you win, when you do the skip. But I did like the UPS deal yesterday. I liked Muss in his UPS shirt and Coach Ruda wearing those brown shirts out there in front of the team.
And that's kind of, Devo Davis was already signed on here when you came in. Just wonder what your take was on him as a new guy, and then what you thought of his play, especially of late. He really seems to have turned it on.
Love him, man. He's like a light bulb in practice. Like his energy and what he brings to the game is how he practices. And as a coach, you always want consistency, right? You want guys to practice hard and play hard, and that's not always easy. When you have a long season together. But Devo's energy and enthusiasm from day one is why you're seeing him play now. When he makes some highlight reel plays and he'll make some mistakes here and there, but his effort makes up for the mistakes that he makes as a freshman. And so him playing good for us of late has really helped us because he's a tough kid that will guard anybody you ask him to guard, knows his role in the offensive end of the floor, and gives us a toughness defensively that's needed.
I know how Eric likes to tweet about all the freebie shirts and masks and everything he gets from all these different. Has he made you promise to bring him back some Australian Olympic swag?
No, but that'll be I guarantee you that will be in the request pile. I've got him some other swag.
Okay, thanks, David.
No worries.
Anybody else have anything for Coach? All right.
Yeah, Coach Patrick, I was just curious where you've seen Connor have the greatest influence on games. The past 2 or 3 games. I think he's had 5 blocks in a couple games, and I think he was up to 3 more last night.
Look, I'm not 7'3", so I can't speak but I do know when you're 7 feet and bigger, like you get critiqued more than others. If you miss a layup, it's magnified more. If you don't get a block shot, it's magnified more. But I think as a coach, when you see Connor out there on the floor, just our rebounding numbers and our rim protection, that doesn't always show up on a stat sheet, and so his presence in the key, it may negate a guard from going in there because he's in there. And so I think when you look at our rebounding numbers, he's a big reason to do with that. When you look at our rim protection, he's a big reason for us there. And when he's making threes, it's great. But that's not what he's out there solely for us to do. He gives us a presence in the paint, and I really see his confidence, moving in the right direction over these last 3 games.